Hola, amigos. Welcome to the Best of Mazatlan show. My name is Mark Glickman, and I'm your host and publisher of bestofmazatlan.com, the leading digital lifestyle brand of Mazatlan, Mexico. This show will feature entrepreneurs, leaders, local businesses, nonprofits, musicians, realtors, and other stories that showcase the best of Mazatlan, Mexico. If you're watching this live, please like and share the show. You, the viewer, can contribute your perspective or ask questions during the live broadcast by posting your thoughts in the comments section on any of the Facebook pages you're watching the show on. Also, a quick shout out to my producer, Marissa Callie, who helps to make this show run smoothly. I'm really happy to be with my guest, Oscar Guzon, director of the new National Whale Museum in Mazatlan and founder of Onca Explorations. Oscar is a marine biologist and researcher and is a leader in ecotourism efforts in Mazatlan, where he founded the first whale watching company in Mazatlan and Sinaloa, Onca Explorations. I have tremendous respect for Oscar because he's always combined whale watching with whale conservation education, and it's why I couldn't be more excited about his leading the charge as the director of the new National Whale Museum. Welcome to the Best of Mazatlan show, Oscar.
Hi, Mark. Hi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're quite
Very kind
welcome.
words.
I'm going to start the show, Oscar, by turning it over to you to tell us a bit about you and your background and how you ended up doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Mark, and I really appreciate this opportunity. And hello, everyone. My name is Oscar. I'm not a marine biologist. Actually, I'm an oceanographer, but I am a marine ecologist. So I've been dedicating almost 20 years of my life to studying whales. I'm a very passionate person about whales, and most of my studies have been focused on the ecology of whales. So that kind of like have taken me into several other uh, venues like ecotourism as a way to finance most of my research, which I've been doing here in Mazatlan for over 20 years. I've studied, well, over 18 years, but overall, like more like that. Um, I studied out from Mazatlan. I'm originally born and raised in Mazatlan, so I'm very
Mhm.
proud to be working here in my hometown. No, and but I studied somewhere else. I studied in Ensenada, where I did oceanography, and then I did my master's. So it was about 10 years that I spent out of Mazatlan, and then I came back. And during those that period of time, I had the opportunity to work with many people that were my mentors in the whale world, and I was lucky enough to work with different species like blue whales in the Gulf of St. Lawrence in Quebec, and had some experiences with killer whales in British Columbia, and other experiences with dolphins and whales in San Diego, California. So it's been, and then obviously a lot of projects within the Gulf of California before I came to Mazatlan. No, in 2006 is where when we started Onca Explorations, and we've been doing that since then.
Excellent, excellent. Very cool. So, Oscar, what is it about Mazatlan's geographic location that makes it one of the breeding grounds for humpback whales along the west coast of Mexico?
Okay, so first we have to talk a little bit about the migration patterns of these whales. Most whales engage in yearly migrations because their feeding grounds are separated, or the idoneous, or the more suitable habitat for feeding is very far away for the more suitable habitat for breeding. So sometimes it's thousands of miles. No?
Mm.
In this case, um, and we're talking about the North Pacific, humpback whales, for example, they feed on very high latitude waters, where waters are very productive during the summer, and then they come down to tropical and subtropical waters for mating during the winter. So in Mazatlan is very much at the beginning of the tropics. You know that the Tropic of Cancers is only 21 kilometers to the north from Mazatlan. So we're pretty much the beginning of the tropics. So humpback whales find in these waters um, suitable habitat for breeding. So every year during the months of December through March, we have a population of thousands of humpback whales using these waters for those means. The degree at which these humpbacks have used this area has actually changed over the last 18 years. And with the years, we have found out that it become more suitable for breeding than before. And this is a little bit because of probably climate change. Our modeling and my PhD studies are showing that the the not only not global warming per se, but the warming of the waters and the behavior of warm water masses have made um, have somehow pushed the tropics to the north, no, basically. So
Hmm.
so if many years ago these whales were only finding more or less suitable habitat for breeding, depending on the season, now they are the habitat that we have right here in front is very suitable for them. They're breeding right outside, they're singing, they're doing all these courtship behaviors, they're having their babies. So more and more babies are being born in Mazatlan every year.
So interesting. So climate change is really one of these examples where climate change is actually, from your perspective with whale watching, has made it more prolific in some ways, in terms of what you get to see and their patterns. And
It's a very simple way of seeing it because there might be a lot of things that are underlying those mechanisms that might be
right,
of a concern. You know, if there's changes in the behavior of fisheries, then there will be, even if there's more whales, there will be more threats to those whales.
right,
So
right,
more whales doesn't necessarily means that they're going to be out of danger. Probably they
right.
will be more at danger, no?
Yeah, I would think.
Because
Yeah,
we're also way more than before.
right, right. Now, can you walk us through some of the research you have and continue to do on humpback whales and what you've learned?
Of course, Mark. Well, we've been doing we started doing very basic research, and we still do on humpback whales, which involve very standard techniques for studying whales, which is pretty much following groups of whales, seeing what they're doing, getting geographic locations of the whales, behavioral observations. But one technique that we've been using for all these years is photo identification, which is based on taking photographs of the unique patterns that humpbacks have on their underside of their flukes in a way that we can identify individuals. And we've been building a catalog of individual animals for this particular region. And this catalog so far has almost 1,000 individuals up to 2015, no, 13. And it's a very ongoing project. We've been
Hmm.
using students. Well, they've been collaborating. A lot of students are collaborating, doing their thesis and their social services, working with us and working with this catalog. And it's a continuous program. No, so we
Yeah.
are expecting to grow this catalog in the next few years into a catalog that probably has over 2,000 individual whales. We
Wow.
believe. Uh, at this moment in time, technology has been improving a lot. So now there's a lot of initiatives, particularly in the US, when they've been using algorithm for facial recognition. So nowadays, it's way more easy to do this work. You don't have to develop film, first of all, like many
Right.
years now. Now,
That
now
helps.
you just take a picture and there's some algorithm that tells you, hey, you know what? Somehow your whale has been photographed in Alaska this winter or
Wow.
this summer. So there's a group called Happy Whale that's been doing that, and I'm sending a hello to Ted Cheeseman, which is the the man behind it with other people. But it's just one of those initiatives. And then here in Mexico, we've been collaborating with researchers from all over the world to studying these animals, and there's many other whale researchers in Mexico doing work with humpbacks. No, so we know that these whales are aggregating not only in Mazatlan, they're aggregating all over the Pacific. We have people studying them in Baja. We have in very different regions of Baja. We have people studying them here in Sinaloa. Nayarit, people studying them in Jalisco, and all the way down Michoacan, Guerrero, Oaxaca, and there's even now more people studying them in Central America. Now, very
Wow.
recently, our findings with the photo ID and our contributions by taking these pictures, we've been collaborating with all these researchers from other places, and we believe, and when I say we, the scientific community believe that there's another unit of population that might be of concern in Central American waters, and this is a very new thing, and there's still a lot of ongoing projects to determine in which degree these whales are different. But we know that, for example, the whales here in Mazatlan have much more affinity to whales that are in Baja or in even all the way south to Nayarit. No, so we have different units of populations along the Pacific, which makes it a very complex situation for the conservation of the species as well.
Yeah,
No?
that's interesting. I'm fascinated the way the technology has, evolved with the photographs, because I remember with turtles, there used to be like some tracking device they would put on the turtles to see where they go and when they come back and all that. But you can do it through photography now, which explains why every time I see a picture of you, you have a camera around your neck on the boat tracking it. But that's fascinating. That now tell me, so I saw a whale breach in Cabo once when I was there years ago. My son was like 4 or 5 years old, and I was out in a small little fishing boat, and we had no idea, but a whale came up next to us and breached right next to us. And I looked at my wife, and we were out there on a small little fishing boat with this huge whale breaching, which I'll tell you, if you've never seen a whale breach, not you, but I'm just talking to the public out here. If you've never seen a whale breach, it's like a religious experience. I mean, there's nothing like it to see them
I
stand up straight in the water. It's just something that you'll never forget the rest of your life. I mean,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah,
And I've seen a few, but I'm always fascinated by it. It's one of my favorite behaviors.
yeah,
And yeah, here in Mazatlan, they're all about that. Right now, I mean, yesterday was just a wonderful day in the water. We had I counted probably around 40 whales in a very, very small area.
wow, that's
There were a
amazing.
lot of activity. When the humpback whales are in the breeding grounds, I mean, I have to say that the humpback whales are my favorite in many ways because
Hmm.
they're super attractive. They're beautiful animals, and they're also very active, very playful, but also very intense, because the
Right.
males, for example, they get together in these big groups, sometimes up to 12, 15 animals, and they're just like full of testosterone because they want to get a girlfriend right here in Mexico waters, which are they're here to do that only. They don't even eat, so they're all about, yes, I'm gonna get a girlfriend in Mexico or many,
Yeah.
and they're all about that. So all these behaviors that we see around these waters, they're all related to breeding and courtship, and that includes not only aerial behaviors, which are very amazing, but also singing behavior. These whales they're emitting vocalizations as
Oh,
part of
yeah.
their mating ritual, which are
Right.
very attractive. It's a very powerful sound. We've been having huge amount of acoustic activity this winter. It's been a
Cool.
very hot winter, which
Hmm.
which actually it matches up with the idea that the warmer it gets in Mazatlan, the more whales we have in a
Right.
way. No, so this is an El Nino year, particularly.
Right.
It's been quite warm, and if you trace back this abundance index to the past, we always see these peaks in abundance when it's warm years, and the other way around when they're cold years, we see
Hmm.
less
Interesting.
abundance, which is relative to the area, and so less usage of the
Right.
area by these whales.
Cool.
So yeah, that's something that we have found, and but that's also changing in time. So it's kind of like cyclic, There might be years that we have a lot of whales, and other years that are not so much.
Hmm. Right. Right. Of course. Let me see. I got a couple comments here. One from Brent McCarthy. Oscar, you are the best. Here's one from our mutual amigo, Paul Beckman. Saludos,
Hey,
Oscar and Mark. Yeah. Hey,
saludos,
Paul.
saludos. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Paul Beckman is one of my dear friends. We miss him here in Mazatlan, and
Yeah.
he's
He's
actually
one of
I
mine too.
also consider him as part of my mentors here in ecotourism. He's also a pioneer. So
Oh,
hola
absolutely.
Paul.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of working with Paul for a few years, and he's one of a kind. And he and his wife Carolyn did the Mazatlan Bird Festival, which was
Correct.
yeah. So he's had his hand in ecotourism efforts in Mazatlan for some time. So, what are the best months to see whales in Mazatlan? Has that changed now with the warmer weather, or is it
Well,
still the same kind of window?
our data are very consistent in telling us that the peak month of abundance is always January. You know? But we always start seeing whales around December, November, December. December is a beautiful month. January is a great month. February also. But I would say that the drop off, it's always very drastic in March. So
Okay.
even if it's very consistent towards December, January, and February, by March we have a drop that is like very evident. No,
Hmm.
so yeah, definitely if you want to see whales in Mazatlan, the best time is January. December, January is perfect. No,
Okay.
February is still. March, you might be 50-50 chances. And there might
Right.
be some wind coming in because it's very windy months in March, which difficults navigations.
Yeah.
But still, there might be years and even up to April we can see them. April, May.
Hmm. How many humpback whales would you say you typically see in a season, like from November to March?
I will say anywhere from 350 to 500 whales,
Wow. Okay.
more or less.
Wow. That's
But that's the ones that we count. No,
right. Right.
let's say we have an average of around 450. No, a season. No,
Okay.
but 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 there's also the fact that there might be the usage of this area might be much higher. You know,
Hmm.
like and I'm telling about different whales. No, but
Hmm.
counts that might be in the thousands. No,
Wow. Wow.
and I would say that probably around anywhere from a few thousand whales are passing through these waters every year, at least the ones that we can see. No, but if
Yeah.
you see it as a population size, if we consider that there's around 9,000 whales that are visiting the Mexican Pacific, and whales do not fly, they probably all pass through Mazatlan, and
Wow.
there's only a few percentage of whales that we see. No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Of
then
course.
obviously from that percentage of whales, there might be just a certain number of whales that are different whales. No,
Right. How much, just out of curiosity, how much do whales weigh? I mean, is there a drastic difference between male whales and female whales in terms of their size and
okay, so
oops.
basically within all mysticetes or baleen whales, the females are larger than males typically, but just a couple meters. No, but let's say an adult humpback whale will be around anywhere from 14 to 16 meters in length. No,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
they can weigh up to 100, not probably 45 tons. No,
Wow.
they're pretty massive.
Yeah. Wow. I know they are. That's why when they breach, it's hard to even imagine them standing up in the water because they're so
Exactly.
large. It's like, how do they do that? I've never
I
been
know
able to.
they're so heavy, huh? But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
they
crazy.
manage to be very agile too. No?
Yeah, absolutely. So now tell us about these exciting plans you have for the National Whale Museum. It's really I know that they have the new aquarium now in Mazatlan, which has become quite a big attraction. But this sounds really exciting, and I'm really happy for you. And
Thank
I
you.
want the audience to learn more about it and where it will be and what you're going to have on display and all that good stuff.
Well, thank you, Mark. This is a very important project for me, and I'm very proud of being part of and part of the family of Observatorio 1873, which is the tourist park that hosts the MUNBA, or the National Museum of the Whale. no, the Museo Nacional de la Ballena, which I'm going to be directing, and I've been doing that for the last 5 months now. Um, I was lucky enough to get the museum when to get into the museum when the museum was is in construction still. We are not open yet. We're building these experiences inside. Well, from the building to the experiences has been quite a journey, no, for
I'm
me,
sure.
because I found out that I have to learn about engineering, architecture, plumbing, electricity, and museography, which is all these fabulous subjects that are of interest to me. And this is a great challenge, which I also accepted with joy and responsibility. And so far, it's been 5 months in the making for me at least. But I know the team has been built. The team and the people from that are financing this project. They've been working for years on this. So it's a huge project. It's going to host a very large and diverse collection of cetacean skeletons. One of them is actually just behind me. This is a gray whale
Yeah,
that
I
we
can
have.
see that. It looks very cool.
It is a the space is wonderful. It's very magic. It has a wonderful architecture, which kind of breaks the boundaries of creativity and in terms of museum and exhibition places. It's kind of different in many ways. Um, and it's intended to be a place for education. We want people, both visitors and locals, to get proud of the great diversity of marine life that we have in Mexico, but particularly of this group of the cetaceans, the whales and dolphins that we have in Mexico and in Mazatlan. No? And the idea is for the museum to become this beacon of this reference, no, as a not only as a building, not only as an exhibition place, but also as a place where knowledge is being created, knowledge is being shared, and new and novel ways of education are being thought of. You know, we want to
Hmm.
have interactive exhibitions. We're working on to have sensorial experiences. So you can the message that we want to bring out is why are these whales? What is it that it connects us to these whales? No, what is the human whale connection, and why is it so in so fascinating for humans to be around these huge animals? And there's many things that are parallel in our worlds. They're mammals. They breathe air. They're absolutely astonishing animals. They're wonderful in many ways, but and it's between anyway we travel between fear and admiration of
Right,
these
right.
creatures, no? So it's kind of a funny feeling, I guess. And here we're gonna have them so close, you know. They're gonna, I mean, it's kind of like almost eating me there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Have you
just right
noticed
behind.
any have you noticed any changes in their behavior? Because I don't know where this is. It's not Mazatlan, but there's some parts, and maybe it's not humpback whales, where they were like turning boats over and doing unusual behaviors for whales that they hadn't
Yeah,
seen before in the past.
they
So,
might be a little fed up of humans, maybe.
who could
No,
blame
we
them?
just joke. We can blame them. Yeah, we can blame them. This case that you're talking about is basically the killer whales or orcas
Okay,
in the
right.
Mediterranean. No,
Okay,
in near the Gibraltar Strait, there's a population there that's apparently has engaged in very what do we call more than curious behavior towards boats
right, right.
and maybe a little um, naughty behavior there,
Yeah, but those are killer
biting.
whales. Those aren't
It's
humpback whales. Those are
it's
killer
not the
whales.
humpback. It's a
Okay.
dolphin. Killer whales are actually dolphins. It's the largest dolphin that exists,
Wow.
no? And
Interesting.
the apex predator of the ocean. So I would be very scared to be in a sailboat if it's if a killer wants to play with it. But
Right, right.
apparently they haven't been any cases of violence towards humans anywhere by a killer whale. So I
Right.
think, in my opinion, what is happening there is that there's a lot of hypotheses, but then one of them, for me at least, is I think that these whales are actually teaching their youngsters how to approach different subjects in the ocean, and maybe
Hmm.
an approach to feeding, like training. You
Right.
know what? It's also a size of a sailboat, a fin
Yeah.
whale, which is their prey. No,
Right.
so maybe they're just training with the sailboats. I don't know. I'm just because they don't seem to want to kill anyone. No, and they just want to
Right.
just kind of like they go, they bite the hull and parts of the back of the hull, and they're just like, hey, you got it? Okay, let's go. And then they go, no? So it's not
Right.
like,
Right.
hey, you humans, you go down here. I'm going to show you.
Right. That's funny. That's funny. That's it.
But
Hey, a
yeah,
couple
that's
more.
my opinion. Maybe it's more complex than that. I don't know. They're very
Yeah.
complex animals, you know.
Right. No, absolutely. We
But
got some more
the
more
museum
comments
is
here.
exactly that, no? It's a
Yeah.
place
Yeah.
where you can learn about all these
No,
things and all these
absolutely.
the natural history of these animals through different experiences that can be um, uh, that we want them to be entertaining and we want them to be inspiring. No,
Absolutely. Where's the location going to be of the new museum?
the new museum is located within the compound of the Parque Observatorio in the Cerro del Vigía. No?
Okay.
It's going to have a different entrance. Well, you're going to be able to enter the museum from the observatory when
Mm-hmm.
you pay your ticket, but you can
Right.
also just visit the museum and
Oh, great.
coming from another entrance, which is like on the other side of the Cerro del Vigía. We're going
Excellent.
to have our own entrance to the museum.
Oh, that's great. It sounds so exciting. Very
It
exciting.
is. Yes.
I'm
We
excited
still
for
we
you.
still we still ways to go. We're coming soon, but I don't know how soon. We're
Yeah.
working towards it.
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like they have the perfect guy in charge with you, so
Well,
I'm
thank
sure
you.
they're in good hands. So it's exciting to think about, and it'll be another great asset for tourism in Mazatlan for people to experience that, because Mazatlan is such a popular breeding ground for the humpback whale. So it's excellent. It's excellent. Got a couple more comments here. Paul, back again. Always a big fan of you and your work, Oscar Abrazos. It
Abrazo,
looks
Paul.
another one. So proud of you, Oscar. Well done. Yeah. All right. You're a popular guy, Oscar. What can I tell you?
Well, I hope that for the right reasons.
Yeah,
I only hope.
I think so. I think so. So, okay, now just a little lightning round I do at the end of toward the end of the show. What's your favorite place to eat in Mazatlan when you're not on your boat
Ooh,
doing whale watching?
I don't want to hurt any feelings here. Huh?
Nah, no, I know you have more
Uh,
than one, but what's your favorite?
I have more than one. I have more
I
than
know you
one.
do.
I mean, I can tell you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Go.
For example, I love Rico's coffee, my
Oh yeah,
friends, which I
yeah, me
send them a
too.
big
Yep,
hello. I
of course.
love having breakfast at the Via Condotti and Hector has a great
Yes,
place.
absolutely.
Um, what else? Man, I have so many. I mean,
Yeah.
there's one place where I go for a steakhouse at San Juan Leñero. I like it. I go with my kids a lot. We like Los Arcos, and we have a ton of mariscos
Yes.
stands that we go. No,
Oh yeah.
mariscos del mar. Anyway, you can just well, that's pretty much you get any good mariscos anywhere. No, in
Yeah,
Mazatlan.
absolutely.
Oh,
Well, as a Mazatleca, what's your favorite food to eat in Mazatlan?
I would say, yeah. Well, I like eating shrimp a lot. No,
Yeah,
I
me
wish it
too.
wasn't that much of a deal with all the impact it has on the environment. No, but I think there's ways that you can navigate through that with sustainable options. No,
Yeah,
that's something to
absolutely.
explore.
Yeah. When I'm in Mazatlan, I eat shrimp and fresh fish every day of the
Yes,
week. So-
I also like going to the places like El Quelite or
oh
El
yeah.
Aval, no, to get
Yeah,
like
me
more
too.
regional food. I kind
Right.
of like that too.
Yeah, me too. Me too. How about your favorite beach in Mazatlan?
Ooh, I gotta say, I don't know, man. I mean, Pueblo Bonito is kind of like a typical place I go with the kids, and there's like a bunch of Mazatlecos that we go there every Sunday. But I don't know if it's like my favorite. I would say that if you go to the like to get away from everything, you can either go to the north or to the south, but not on Isla de la Piedra. Like right there with all the restaurants, it's kind of crowded. But if you go
Right.
towards like Estrella del Mar and all those areas right there, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
No, and
Estrella de Mar. There's
the same thing is when you go to the north. There's several places to the north, places where I mean, I don't surf, but I have a lot of friends that surf, and they go to these beautiful places that they go surfing in the north of Mazatlan, and I've been
Right.
with them, and it's just like amazing. Even if you go to Las Labradas Beach, for example, is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What's your favorite thing to do in Mazatlan when you're not doing your whale watching thing?
Oh, whale watch. I was gonna say whale watching.
I wasn't going to let you.
No, the other thing I like to do, well, I like to go to the beach a lot. I enjoy all the scenery. Um, I like going to. I love seeing sunsets. I'm a sunset catcher. No,
Yeah,
a
well,
sunset
to
hunter.
be in Mazatlan is to love watching the sunset because there's no place better to see those spectacular sunsets.
It is correct. I think it's the best sunsets in the world.
Me too. Me
I
too.
just love my city. Love the people here. And I always. I mean, there's always a lot of things to that can be better in Mazatlan, and I think that we all like Mazatlecos. We need to work on that because we need to work on the respect for the citizens. Sometimes it's a very noisy city. I don't like that. I think
Right.
we have to change that. I think we have to be more inclusive. I think we have to be a cleaner city. And I think we have to have better management of a lot of issues. We need to have more planning. And I'm not only an entrepreneur. I've been for my during my 18 years that I've been doing this. I've been also an activist. I've done and follow a lot of initiatives to for the environment in Mazatlan, and I
Hmm.
follow and I applaud all the efforts that a lot of people are doing, and I try to get involved as much as I can. Um, well, right now I think it's just like there's so many things to do. I think that what we
Yeah.
need is more people to get involved.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree with everything you said, and I was glad to see there's some organizations now that are cleaning the beach and the garbage
Yeah,
from the beach, and I'm sure that's impactful for your line of work too, because you don't want all that stuff going out into the ocean and um, having that kind of negative impact out there. But yeah, I mean that Mazatlan's made some great improvements since Tianguis was there, and so they've done some great things with the Malecone and whatnot. But and I was happy to see they added garbage cans on the Malecone because
yes, yes.
just
I
simple
mean,
things like that. But yeah,
we also we also been working a lot with the network for disentanglement of whales. I coordinate the efforts for that here. So every time a whale gets entangled on a net, we have a trained team of volunteers and people from the different institutions like CONAM, Semarnat, the Navy, no. And whenever there's these whales are in danger of dying in a net or suffering a terrible loss in the nets, we go there and we activate a protocol so we can release these whales from the nets, which is also a very important effort.
wow,
And
that's great.
these effort these efforts are costful. I mean, they're expensive to maintain. Research is expensive, so I am very glad that now with the new museum we're gonna have a new way of a new collaborator, as
Yeah,
well. We're
that's
gonna
so
have
important.
another sponsorship in housing this beautiful exhibition of skeletons and interactions, so we can learn and we also can get more people involved in it.
Yeah, that's great. It's such a worthwhile initiative. That's fantastic. Well, this has been great, Oscar. It's been great talking to you. I'm going to turn it over to you now, so you can before we end the show, for you to say whatever you want.
Okay, for me.
The stage is yours. Yeah, there's
Oh,
nobody
great.
else. It's only you.
Well, thank you everyone for listening and for following this wonderful work that Mark is doing with this channel. I hope everyone can come and visit the museum once it's open. I'm not allowed to say any dates right now, but it's expected soon. No, soon
Good.
enough. And definitely go whale watching. Do it with people that have an authorization for doing it. There's a lot of people out there doing whale watching without permits, without knowledge on the whale. So that's something that to take care of, no, to be careful, no, and also get involved in any of the activities that either us or other nonprofits are doing for the preservation of the environment and to keep our Mazatlan clean and beautiful and happy. Okay, so I I invite everyone to come and just visit us, and you won't regret. Visit Mazatlan. Thousands of whales can be wrong, huh?
Well put. Well put, Oscar. Well, look, I'm going to sign off my Best of Mazatlan show with this. We all have choices in life. Choose love, not hate. Choose positive, not negative. And always remember the glass is half full. And let's hope it's half full of tequila from La Sasuna. Mark your calendars for the next show with special guest Carol Kirkwood Bell of Mazatlan Animal Rescue on Thursday, January 25th. Adios, amigos. Thanks, Oscar. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Adios.